Good morning guys and welcome to another video. It is 3 weeks now left of the term until we have our winter break, and if you are a teacher you will fully understand that everyone here is very excited for that winter break. The autumn term is unbelievably long, like 16 weeks in total, something like that. But today I want to talk a little bit about applying for jobs abroad, specifically out here in the UAE because this is where I'm based. So if you're interested in getting a job out here in the UAE as a teacher, this might be the video for you. So first and foremost, when you are applying for jobs abroad, I would recommend TES, T-E-S. Go onto the TES website. There is a section at the top when you first open the website called Education Jobs, and you can look at all of the different jobs available around the world on that website. That goes for jobs in the UK, that goes for jobs in many other international settings as well. And it's where I first found my job here in Al Ain, and I know that it's where a lot of people have found their jobs since. Now, the website is open all year round, and you will find teaching and education jobs throughout the entire year, not just at specific moments. But as you can understand, there are certain times when there are more jobs on there. Schools are obviously looking to employ people, and we are very much in that window right now. Logging into TES, click at the top right hand side and you get the drop down menu where you can click on educational jobs. Now I have typed in the specific location, I click on it and go search, and already we can see that if we drop down there are many different positions available, 763 to be precise. Now these positions here are for schools all over the UAE. These could be in Dubai, Abu Dhabi or any of the other Emirates. If you go to the keyword search and type in your preferred profession, primary teacher for example, maths teacher, English teacher and so on, it then specifically sorts out the jobs within that area that you're looking for based on your search criteria. It just gives you a little bit more of a refined search. Jobs are updated daily, so I would keep an eye on it every day just to refresh. Now, a big question that you need to ask yourself is whereabouts in the UAE do you want to teach? Because there are lots of different Emirates and all of them offer something slightly more unique. As an example, Dubai, which has become an incredibly popular location over the last few years, it is very much a busy city that typically attracts a younger audience, a younger teacher. That doesn't mean to say that if you've got a family that you shouldn't go there, because there are many opportunities for families also. But typically it is attractive for younger people that are looking to have a high-speed, racy lifestyle. Abu Dhabi is a little bit more relaxed than that. And then where I am in Al Ain, which is part of the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, it's even quieter still. And this area definitely attracts families. And actually, when I first applied for my job here, one of the questions was, do you know where you're moving to? Because Al Ain is not Dubai. But there are also other Emirates as well that you could get a job teaching at. Like I say, they're all slightly different. So knowing where you want to teach and why is important, because if you do get an interview, that will definitely be a question that you're asked. Are you prepared to come out here? What are your thoughts on living in this country? Because that can be a big factor why people decide to stay or leave. It can be quite a big culture shock for a lot of people. And I've known people come out here for the first term, get homesick, and want to go back home. So making sure you know exactly where you want to move, that's very important. So, as I've said, we are now very much in the employment window for schools here in the UAE. Now, the advice I've been given in the past has been that the best schools open their employment window early because they want to monopolize on potential teachers looking to move out here to this part of the world. And having already looked on TES myself, I can see that a number of schools throughout the region have already started to look for people for the start of 2025. When you are working in an international school, every year around this time of year, the principal tends to send out an intentions form. And basically they're just checking to see who in the school is looking to stay for another year, who's got plans to move on, who's unsure. And in this process, they're starting to develop an idea of how their future employment is going to look like, whether they need to open up a new campaign to get more teachers in. So if you are interested, now is the time to start looking. When I look on TES and I saw when I first applied for the job I'm currently in, I originally submitted my application in January, early January. But I can tell everybody now that I was also looking for jobs in the lead up to that time as well. So now is the time to start, but the window is open probably until the spring. So start now, start looking. There are jobs available already, and you've got, I don't know, a 4 or 5 month window probably where the majority of jobs will be. Now, that doesn't mean to say that if you are unsuccessful during this time period that you can't get a job, because you can. Schools are looking for people all the way up until the summer. And actually, in my current experience now, there is a teacher within my team that got the phone call like a week or two before we even started, because unfortunately someone dropped out of a role. So even up until very, very close to the time, if you are able to, I know that not everyone has the flexibility to do this, there could still be a job opportunity for you, even as late as August. So if you're really mind strong on wanting to move out here, don't give up, keep applying, because you may well find that you get something all the way up until the start of the year. It is the end of the day, and I am now driving back home. So the last thing I mentioned in this video was about applying for jobs and jobs becoming available. Now, I've had a few questions over the last few years about different schools, which schools are good quality, which schools you should apply for. Now, that's quite a difficult question to respond to. And the reason it's quite difficult is because I've only worked at one school out here in the UAE, so I can't really create or provide any accurate judgments of other schools. What I do always advise, however, is there are two different sort of school systems out here. There are the government schools, which are funded by the government, and then there are the independent schools. Now, the independent schools, because they're private, they tend to follow varying curriculums. You tend to get more international teachers working at those schools. And so, in my experience, I would always recommend someone look at an international position if you have the qualifications to get into that school. But in terms of which schools are the best to apply for, to be honest, that really depends on your experience. It also depends on the kind of school you want to work at. And, well, this is going to be up to your preference. Now, I have come from an English school back in the UK. And so for me, I obviously wanted to try and get into an English school here, which I've done so. But if you are American or you're from different parts of the world, perhaps you might want to get into an American school. Or maybe you want to teach at a school that runs off IB, International Baccalaureate. So you need to do your research into the varying schools, because all of the schools out here are slightly different. And while one might suit you, another may not. So when you are looking for jobs, my recommendation is to do your research, apply for it if you think that it is a school that you'd like to work at, and then ultimately, if you get an interview, ask all the questions that you've got going on in your mind, and hopefully you can make an informed decision. There are already lots of different positions coming up, and whether or not you are a primary teacher like myself, or whether you are a specialist teacher teaching maths, English, humanities, science, whatever it may be, there are plenty of jobs available. I mean, before I put primary teacher, it said, 750 potential positions available. So it is definitely worth looking already, and you can be very specific and accurate with the kind of schools that you want to apply for. In terms of the application process, it really varies depending on the school. When I first started applying to schools out here in the UAE, the two types of application processes was you either were expected to just upload your CV and a cover letter and either send that off directly to the school or through TES, or they had a full application process where you had to fill in all your details. So depending on which school you're applying for, you could expect either just a CV and a cover letter or a full application. So guys, I hope you found this useful. I wish you every luck if you're looking to get a job out here. If you want me to answer any specific questions about getting a job, or you want me to look over anything, comment down on this video, but you can also go over and follow me on Instagram. And if there's any schools that you've heard of, or if you want any advice, please let me know and I will endeavour to get back to you. But until then, I will see you in the next video. Good luck.